Hello, welcome to another episode of Fighting Game Fridays. I'm your host, Nick Silviano, Gamer Nick, or something else like that. And the game I wanted to show off today was Fighters Megamix. It was basically a combination of Virtua Fighter 2 and Fighting Vipers, two 3D fighting games on the Sega Saturn at the time. And this was kind of a King of Fighters inspired mashup game by Sega, where they took the characters from both series and put them in one game, plus added a few extra characters, hidden bonus characters, which you can see right here that I'm showing right now. Had different characters like Rent-A-Hero and Seba, and some characters from Virtua Fighter Kids. It's like that. As you see, you got the two different character sets there, plus some extra ones. I had them all. I unlocked them all before I went and played this game. Basically, how this works: you pick a character, and then you do trials. You do sets of fighters, and you fight through them. There's like seven or eight in the whole thing. You fight through them, and basically, yeah. So you pick either one character. The game plays a lot like more of a combination of Virtua Fighter 2, 3, and Fighting Vipers. You can actually choose two different types of fighting. You can choose the Fighting Viper style of fighting, where you can do the charge moves, and it's like completely ridiculous and out there. Like you can do the recover in midair and stuff like that. The game might be a bit faster. You can do the armor breaking moves, do the charge up moves. So basically, yeah, that's how it goes here. They added an extra, like some of the features from Virtua Fighter 3, like some of the moves from Virtua Fighter 3. A lot of characters had combos and moves that they took from Virtua Fighter 3, and the sidestep. The sidestep button, which was introduced in Virtua Fighter 3, or going to be introduced in Virtua Fighter 3, and they put it in this game because I think they were thinking at one point they were going to make Virtua Fighter 3 for the Sega Saturn. Except for the fact that the Sega Saturn was dying, and quite frankly, it couldn't handle Virtua Fighter 3 graphically, because they really didn't upscale on the graphics in the arcade version. I unfortunately never saw the arcade version of Virtua Fighter 3. I would have liked to, just to see how, because I heard it looked really good and stuff like that. I mean, I have played the Dreamcast version. I do have the Dreamcast version, and I heard even though it was on Dreamcast, it wasn't as good or put together as the arcade version. So you got the standard move. They've got stages, borrowing stages from both Virtua Fighter 1, 2, and Fighting Vipers. You got the moves where you can bust them through the arena and stuff like that. And that just goes on until you fight the final boss. You can also, like I said, switch the fighting type to Virtua Fighter. See if you do it that way. Then, like I said, you got the couple of different trials there. I'll cover that more in a minute. So here I can turn off and it plays more like Virtua Fighter, where you can't do the charge moves. You don't have the ability. The moves are kind of toned down and more realistic in the Virtua Fighter way than they were in Fighting Vipers. You can't really knock them all far up in the air, and you can't really knock them all the way down. You still have the running ability. They added that in, so you can run and you can still do the shoulder rams and the sliding kicks and stuff like that. You could still do all that. It just wouldn't have the overblown and over-exaggerated effect that it would if you had it in Fighting Vipers. See, like there, you can still do the kick, and a lot of moves were like redone, and the commands were made more on par with Virtua Fighter 3 than were in Virtua Fighter 2. Like Jackie's clothesline thing there, I forgot the name of it. They changed the move. It's more of the throw button, the throw buttons instead of just like the B button. And like I say, you can choose like the different trials. Each one, there's like one that plays like Virtua Fighter. There's Fighting Vipers. There's all girls, muscle characters, smart guys, dirty fighters, bosses. There's like all the bosses that you unlock during the game, and the secrets course, which has all the ridiculous characters and the secret characters you unlock during the game. You can do things like versus mode, and you have one player versus computer if you're lonely and just want to play the game without having to do any type of course, whatever. And some of the hidden characters had in here are the Virtua Fighter, or the characters from Virtua Fighter Kids, their versions. Not all of them, just Sarah and Akira. I can understand why they put Akira in there. I don't know. They put Sarah, and they played like they did in Virtua Fighter. And the stage you can see here is actually from Daytona, USA. Yes, they have stages, music, and apart from Daytona, USA, which was also another Sega game. Like I said, it was a mashup of a bunch of different Sega games. And yeah, a lot of the hidden characters, for some reason, even though if you had it on the Fighting Viper setting, they didn't really fight like the Fighting Vipers. You didn't do, like, not a lot of them did the charge move. Some did. A lot of them didn't. They kind of took them out on these here. So as you can see, the Virtua Fighter play it like Virtua Fighter Kids. They're slow and stuff like that, and it's fairly hard to get hits. So yeah, and speaking of Virtua Fighter Kids, I'm just not going to do that game. I never want to play that horrible, horrible game again. It gave me nightmares. I mean, that game was ridiculously hard, and I thought the AI was cheap in regular Virtua Fighter 2. Oh my goodness, try playing a Virtua Fighter Kids. You want to, like, just take the game and frisbee it down the block and hope it get hit by a freight train somehow on its way while it's airborne. And the game also had characters from Sonic the Fighters. Yes, there was a Sonic fighting game where you played as different characters from the Sonic universe. Some new made up for the game, some that showed up in this game, like Bean and Bark. Bark the polar bear and Bean the duck, who are both the same size for some strange reason. But then again, Sonic characters are not really to scale. Sonic Fighters was a game that was made from a result of a joke in Fighting Vipers, where Sonic was supposed to be one of the hidden characters, or they programmed him in there as a joke, and that eventually led to Sonic Fighters. And now we have these two other characters, Deku and Hornet. Hornet, obviously one of the cars from, now I can't remember the name. I said it earlier. One of the cars from Daytona, USA. So yes, the car from Daytona, USA was a hidden character in this game. And as you can imagine, it sucked. And it had armor and it took damage. And you can, like, break it down to its frame if it took enough damage. So there was a survival mode where you can pick different. You pick a fighter and you go through. You have a time limit, and you can see how many times you can get through the characters within the time limit you pick. So Rent-A-Hero was a character was an RPG from Sega, where you had to take a job as a pizza delivery boy to be able to power up your super suit to fight crime. Yeah, that's an actual game. I swear I'm not making this up. And like I said, in survival mode, you can pick 3 minutes, 7 minutes, or 15 minutes, and you have to see how many of the characters you can get through without actually losing. And you can, like, you do get health regeneration, but after a while it does kind of tone down. And I always like to do survival mode with this guy. I would just do this. Like, I'd go on the 15-minute mark, and for 15 minutes, just keep doing this, and probably rack up the highest score I could possibly get in this game in survival mode. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to see all that, but yeah, that's basically what I did. I spammed the whole ground wave thing that he would do, and everything like that. It was pretty funny. I kind of messed up here first because I forgot how to do the move at first, and I was like, you got to get them back away from you, otherwise they'll, like, take advantage and just combo you. But once you do that, you can just keep going and going and going and going. And you could just totally blast them for, like, as long as you want with this character. I always thought it was pretty cool, so it's pretty much how I did survival mode. Kept them away from me and kept doing that. Yeah, it sounds a little cheap because, well, quite frankly, it was. And yeah, it just keeps going. You get a time limit and stuff like that. You gotta be when you can and stuff like that. You eventually can get your armor broken, and the damage you take in your armor is permanent. And I think eventually your I don't remember. I think your life bar actually refills like every time. I really don't remember. So, yeah, like I said, all the characters are there. An interesting thing for the character Shun, like this time, like moves he does might determine how many drinks he has, and they finally put the gauge in there how many drinks he has while he's playing. They really didn't put that in Virtua Fighter 2. They put it in here. So yeah, oh man, how long did I do this stupid survival mode? I don't remember doing it this long. So yeah, that'd be pretty boring to just watch somebody sit there and just like spam the ground wave for like hours. And it'd probably take at least half an hour to an hour to actually do this in 15 minutes because, you know, during replays and load screens, it could take a while. Two other characters I wanted to use were Seba and Yurabon. Yurabon was actually made for this game. He was supposed to be like a different version of Bon with new moves, more balanced or whatever like that. Funny story, I used to have this little storyline in my head for fighting Vipers, and Yurabon was Bon's father. That's just something I made up because I would think that he would somehow be Bon's father, even though they're basically the same character, but for fun. Seba is a character that was originally supposed to be in the original fighting Virtua Fighter, but he was cut, and for some reason they still kept his picture on the cabinet listed as Akira. So if he was in the game, he would have had a weapon, and in the world of Virtua Fighter, having a weapon in the World Fighting Tournament is cheating. So probably not why they let the guy out of the game, but you know, just a fun fact I'd throw in there. He was like some Arab guy who like used a sword, a saber. I don't know why. And then you had these two goofballs, which were in Fighting Vipers. They were hidden playable characters, unlockable characters. Kuma-chan and Panda-chan. Kuma-chan basically just a one of the mascots you see in the background of one of the old Armstrong stages. Personally, they seem to me like goofy ripoffs of the characters from Tekken, Kuma and Panda. Get it? Kuma-chan, Panda-chan. So I thought this might have been just a little bit of a screw you to Tekken or whatever. That's just in my head. I really don't know if that was the plan or whatever. For all I know, Kuma and Panda were making fun of this game. And then, of course, you know, you got Team Battle Mode, which, again, you can play either with a friend or by yourself if nobody wants to play the game with you. All the other friends were out playing PC games, and they just didn't think it was cool to sit at your house and play Sega Saturn with you. But anyway, go ahead and calm down here for a minute. Yeah, you pick teams of 8, and if you're playing against a CPU, as you pick a character, they pick a character, and theirs is all random. So you can imagine where this goes. So blah blah blah, and you know, pick the characters and do the matches. And you can pick to either have health regenerated or not. You know, if you want to live dangerously, you put on not, and you can adjust the options like how many minutes and stuff like that. You can go random. You can pick wall or without wall. I feel I'm missing something here. I think there was something I put in this game that I accidentally cut out.
Fight. Ready, go!
Don't remember. Not to see. But anyway, yeah, like I said, pretty much you go through the stages at random, team battle mode, elimination match. I don't do so well in the first round for some reason. And I get my ass kicked by Jane. The graphics on this game were more on par with Fighting Vipers than they were actually Virtua Fighter 2. Which I kind of did like Virtua Fighter 2 graphics a little better. They seem more solid. bigger and realistic. Like there's a higher polygon count. This one they kind of smooth out the characters, even though they still look a little blocky. But whatever. I guess you could kind of live with that. So. And then I picked Raxel and just beat the living crap out of everybody else. Although I don't think I really played through all of Team Battle Mode. I was just basically, this game, though, I'm just showing this game of how, just portraying this game as it is. There's really not a lot going on with it, as say the other two games I showed, like Virtua Fighter or this game. There's virtually no story to this game whatsoever. At all. There's absolutely no reason why this is happening. Looking at the instruction booklet, there's not even a story. They just said, hey, we're going to put all these characters in here for fun. And really, like I said, how many people really play a fighting game for the story? I mean, I used to be kind of interested, oh, story, but now it's like, I kind of get it now. It's like, yeah, I know I play fighting. They play for the fighting. You know, it's not got nothing to do with the story. Or whatever. So they just went with that. It's like, oh, it's a pure fighting game. I just thought it was kind of bad. Kind of sad that this was never an actual arcade game. I thought that would have been so cool, and I thought it was kind of sad that this didn't really take off as a seriously taken fighting game or whatever. Like I said, I'm sure in Japan they just wet their pants over this because Virtua Fighter or at least Virtua Fighter was taken more seriously in Japan than it was over here, which is sad because I always thought Virtua Fighter was an excellent fighting series, and I love it to death. So. And this game right here was just like a dream come true if you played both versions of the game. Even though they did kind of like take out some backgrounds and stuff like that, some of the Fighting Vipers stages. And finally, you have good old-fashioned training mode, where it shows you here what you can do with the moves. Like it shows you the moves. And you can perform them. So yeah, you can do practice combo here and the character called Balls. I don't remember who actually plays this character. Because I know there are some characters that were hidden if you play a certain amount of hours of games and then you just hit a certain button on certain characters and all like other characters. Like the AM2 Palm Tree. Yes, you can play as AM2 logo, the Palm Tree. I think there's another character called Meat. And you hit another button after like a certain amount of gameplay hours, you can unlock Meat. I forgot how to. I think it's called Meat or whatever. I saw him once. I completely forgot what he looks like. I've lost a lot of data on this game. I used to have like everything unlocked in this game. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. And you know what? It occurred to me that I did actually cut out a part that I meant to put in here. I don't know what happened to it. But basically, Jane from Virtua Cop 2 was also a guest in this game. I was going to show that. I didn't realize till right now that it got cut out. I really should have just reviewed this, but I didn't. So here we are. Me looking like an idiot. Yay. So yeah, in the nutshell, that is Fighting Vipers. And not Fighting Vipers, Virtua Fighter. Ah, crap! I'm tired. It was a long day at work, and I'm just putting this video together. Fighters Megamix. That's the game. Like I said, it's too bad it didn't really take off as much. It'd be cool if they did a re-release on this game and added like online components. Come on, Sega. Make that happen. Do it. Fighting Vipers, PSN, Xbox Live Arcade, online. Do it. Make it awesome. Upscale the graphics. Don't remake it. Do upscale, HD it if you must. But this is a game that just screams put online. Same thing with Fighting Vipers. They really need to reprogram this game so they can be online. So, on the very unlikely, super unlikely, ultimate unlikely chance that anybody from Sega actually happens to view this video, which I don't, or if anybody who knows somebody from Sega happens to view this video, bring this up to their attention. Be like, hey, you know that game Fighters Megamix? That would make an awesome online game. Do it. Hey, let's start a petition for this. Hey, Sega, PSN, Xbox Live, put this game on. And like I say, you can go through the moves, you can scroll out and everything like that. So that was basically it. Fighters Megamix. This has been another episode of Fighting Game Fridays, and pretty much all I had to show for that. Like I said, nothing too spectacular. And I just want to show the mashup of the two fighting games with some other fighting games in there. So I'll see you next time.